Hello and welcome to another edition of Charch Chat here at Open Sports. I am Paul Charchian from LeagueSafe.com. Thanks for joining us. Today's subject, sneak attack, passing game style. We've got four players that are not normally in starting lineups. In a lot of cases, may not even be on rosters that could do well in sneaky fashion this coming weekend. We begin with Matt Cassel. Now, Cassel is a guy who got picked up in almost every league, but probably not starting in a lot of leagues, except by Brady owners who were put in a lurch. But a great start this week, in part, or well, really mostly because of the opponent, Miami. Now, Bill Belichick's really held the reins pretty tight on him. He dumped a lot of short stuff last week, not many long passes here, hardly targeting Randy Moss at all. In fact, I believe since halftime of that first game that Cassel came in, Moss has been thrown to 4 times, and Welker's been thrown to 15 times. That's a pretty big disparity in the throws. It really shows you how much he's just kind of going to the dump-off guy, the underneath guy, Wes Welker. So anyway, but Miami's a very good matchup. They rank 30th against the pass. They've allowed the second most passing touchdowns already through this young season. That's a bad secondary, and Cassel has a real opportunity here to score a couple of touchdowns. Next is J.T. O'Sullivan. Now, he threw for 300 yards last week, and in doing so became the first 49ers quarterback to throw for over 300 yards in 60 games. 60. Holy cow. Mike Martz, the offense is starting to work already. Now, he's going up against Detroit this week, so could happen twice in a row. How about not throwing any 300-yard games for 60 and putting up 2 back-to-back? That'd be pretty impressive. Now, the Detroit secondary was lit up by Matt Ryan in his first ever start, then Aaron Rodgers in his second ever start, and now here we get J.T. O'Sullivan in his third ever start, and he looks like he may very well put up the continuing trend of good numbers here. Next, we go to some of the receivers you could look at. David Patton is become the kind of the go-to wide receiver for one of the best offenses in football in New Orleans. He had 7 balls thrown his way, as opposed to the next closest receiver, who just had 3 last week. Now, Reggie Bush is still probably the best receiving threat on the team, but among the receivers, Patton is still our guy. He goes up against Denver, and Denver used to be a shutdown secondary, not anymore. They ranked 29th against the pass, and so while Patton still may draw some Champ Bailey, I mean, those guys just aren't the same back there anymore, and I still like David Patton as a sneaky play this week. And last one is Laveranues Coles. I mean, everybody is so high on Jericho Cotchery. I mean, in my mind, irrationally so. I mean, obviously Brett Favre helps the whole passing offense, but is Cotchery so much better than Coles? Cotchery's got 4 catches so far. So does Coles. I mean, both numbers are actually a little bit low, I think, but just too many people too high on Cotchery, too low on Coles, and goes up against San Diego. They rank 31st against the pass right now, and they've already allowed a league-high 39 wide receiver receptions. So the wide receivers obviously having a lot of luck against the gambling corners in San Diego, and you put all that together, feels like a good opportunity for Laveranues Coles, a guy who just isn't the sort of sexy fantasy pick that Jericho Cotchery is. All right, that's it for this edition, Sneak Attack Passing Style. Thanks for tuning in here at Open Sports.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.